folks who work at small businesses are not going to be covered by Title VII. So that's one reason why we need to pass state employment protections and local employment protections when municipalities are able, after some of the preemption of HB 142 sunsets in December of 2020. COVID finally is forcing us to acknowledge that undocumented people are workers, that there are people in the gig economy, whether they are in transportation or Airbnb, or they deliver food, or they're sex workers. LGBTQ people are disproportionately members of that kind of personal services sector, and being hit hard economically as well as in a health way.
If you look at the main prohibition in Title VII, it doesn't say citizens. It says persons, and employers should not discriminate against individuals, right? And so there is an argument to be made that an undocumented person should be able to bring a claim even if their relief is limited, right? So you bring a claim to vindicate the purposes of Title VII, which is to eliminate, right, discrimination against individuals in the workplace, but you might be limited in terms of your ability, let's say, to be instated into a position because the Immigration Reform and Control Act prohibits employers from hiring undocumented persons. But some courts haven't taken that sort of nuanced approach to the issue of undocumented persons. Some courts, some circuits, like the Fourth Circuit in which we sit, have basically said you can't bring a claim because you were not qualified because of your undocumented status. So undocumented workers are people about whom we should be very concerned in this particular space.
And I would just say that the gaps are particularly huge for a state like North Carolina. I mean, we have a large percentage of our employers who do have fewer than 15 employees. For example, a lot of mom and pop organizations. And when I was doing employment discrimination litigation, we would look to state law for a lot of our claims, but state law does not cover discrimination based on gender identity or sexual orientation. We have HB 142 that prevents municipalities from passing ordinances that would provide these protections. So, and we have large numbers of migrant workers in our state who are working in our fields. And so we have kind of the perfect storm of, in terms of the gaps in protections for even just narrowing this to employees.
There's this question of who's an employee and who's an independent contractor that's been manipulated by employers in the past to bar claims under Title VII. So Title VII does not include independent contractors. And so the question is one of nuance, right, as to who is an employee and who is an independent contractor.